Angry guy here, and women are begging men to come back as men become passport bros and leave. We're going to go ahead and watch this video, but I'm going to be stopping as we're watching it and breaking down some things because I think that a lot of it is baloney. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. I know you guys like to watch the full video first and then have me break things down, but I'm going to stop and I'm going to mention some things as we're going through. Let's go ahead and begin.
Hi. Hating yourself does not make you tough or manly. Andrew Tate hates himself. He will never be happy for as long as that's true, but I would be very surprised if he was aware of that. His posts ooze self-loathing, self-hatred, very thinly disguised as self-discipline. And his lack of self-awareness is just icing on the cake. Listen, there is no shortage of people out there that want to sell you on their particular brand of self-loathing. Just for their...
So, this is interesting. She says that Andrew Tate, does not like himself. And, she shows a list. She shows a list of different things that Andrew has said, right? And I want to pause a little bit as we're going through that list, because it's quite interesting that it points out that women don't understand men. I don't like the idea of breakfast. Many of the top athletes in the world don't eat breakfast. Me, for example, I didn't eat breakfast for many, many years, and that's something I'll be going right back to. Doing what they call the caveman diet. Essentially, most of the time you eat only meat, and you eat typically once a day. Intermittent fasting. And why that is because if you think about it, the caveman, typically did only ate one time a day. They were always on the move. When you eat breakfast, it makes you more sluggish. It slows down the rest of your day. It diminishes mental clarity. These are things that we actually know. Okay? This is one of the reasons why people are getting work done. And they're more clear-minded, more level-headed, more focused. And then suddenly you present food and they become very complacent, they become lazy, and they become... The truth is that we need to acknowledge when our bodies are given food, it tells our bodies that it's time to rest and we can go sleep. That's why a lot of us feel sleepy after we eat, because it's constantly telling our bodies, okay, you are safe, you are protected, you can go and rest now. However, that is not the case. Our bodies are designed to be in a heightened state at most of the time, because we are designed to always be on the move, to always be on the lookout, to always be aware of our surroundings, and our bodies are not designed to continuously burn food throughout the day. Our bodies are designed to take in food once a day and then go into a state where it uses that food for the next 24 hours. This is the reason why intermittent fasting is so important. Modern women have become so complacent that they feel entitled to eating around the clock. They feel entitled to food, to consuming food around the clock. It's not all women, because there are women who do intermittent fasting as well, and they live that life, and they see the benefits of that. There are significant benefits to intermittent fasting. A lot of Buddhist monks do that. The monks in Tibet do this. It's something very serious, and there's a lot of health benefits to fasting. It improves your everything from your heart health to your gut health. If you're struggling with things like irritable bowel syndrome, if you're suffering with skin issues, if you're suffering with a lot of issues, you're suffering with anxiety, there's just so many different things. It can really help to reset your body. And not only does it reset your body, but it can also help you to shed unwanted pounds and maintain a healthy body mass index. Okay? Him saying that I don't like breakfast, I don't like the idea of breakfast. Guys, we were sold the idea of breakfast by the dairy industry. Look at what we eat for breakfast. We're essentially eating cotton candy for breakfast. Okay? Waffle with syrup on them, pancakes. Guys, those are sweets. That's candy. In Western society, we literally eat candy for breakfast. And I'm well aware that that's not the case around in the entire world, but that's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, think about this, guys. They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But how is that truly possible? They say that you should have a good, healthy, strong breakfast Because when you start off the day with a good breakfast that gives you the fuel that you need for the rest of the day, this is incorrect. You start off the day with a heavy breakfast, it makes it harder to go through the rest of the day. Okay, it slows you down. How do you go to the gym and work out when you consume all of this food in the morning? How do you get through the rest of the day? How do you feel capable of getting through the day when you consume a heavy breakfast, even a heavy lunch? It's hard. It's absolutely difficult. It messes with your mental clarity. It messes with your physical state. So it's kind of crazy. Waking up from sleep with instantly available food that you didn't have to hunt and process yourself. He's absolutely right. So these are the things that he doesn't like. That Andrew doesn't like. Guys, this is reality. All right. You didn't have to go out. You didn't have to go and get that food yourself. You didn't have to search for it, and you didn't have to process it. So your relationship with food has completely changed. You don't even know what you're eating. Okay? Because you don't see it. You don't see what it looks like before it's processed. You only see what it looks like after it gets to you, after it's now nice and pretty. So our relationship with food has changed entirely. If you knew what you were eating, if you knew what actually was sacrificed, that a life had to be given so that you can live, it would be different. This is one of the reasons why we struggle with obesity in Western society. It's one of, not the only, but one of. It's because we don't even know where our food comes from. So we're literally so spoiled that we can't even realize that something had to be sacrificed so that we could eat. Breakfast breeds arrogance and laziness. It absolutely does. But it makes you, like I said earlier, it makes you lazy because it makes you sluggish. You become very, very sluggish after you eat. All right? And you also feel entitled. No one is entitled to food. You wake up and you're in a state where you have mental clarity, and you're focused and you're ready for the day. You go for your jog, maybe spend a few moments with God, and then you get up, you take your shower, you go and you work out, you feel, you're light, your body is light, so you can get your exercise done. And then you start, you start your day. And most you might have a cup of coffee. Me personally, I stay away from caffeine. But I do like the taste of coffee. So I have decaf, and even then they say you shouldn't have any coffee, but I have decaf. I have only iced coffee. I don't like warm drinks. And and I'll tell you this, when you're doing this, when you only eat one meal a day, it tastes so much better. When you only eat one meal a day, it makes food taste a lot better. You enjoy food a lot more because you look forward to that one meal, but then at the same time, you also enjoy not feeling hungry throughout the day and not having to worry about food. So while other people are like, oh, I need to go eat at this time. Oh, I need to go eat at this time. I need to eat when I'm bored. You have to find you will find other things to do during your day. Either that, or you're just going to sit around being covered in anxiety and misery, which is not good. But that does reveal something, that if you're not able to eat, right? If you don't have access to, if you cannot, I shouldn't say access, but you're not able to go and eat tons of, crap, and, your result is that you're covered in anxiety, you're sitting and you're miserable. That's a big problem, because what that tells us is that you're just eating because you're bored, or you're eating because you're trying to mask other issues in your life. All right, that's what people say. Well, you're talking for yourself. No, it's true. Like, if you spend all your time putting food down your throat, when you're bored or when you're anxious, and when you don't do those things, all you do is sit around. Well, it doesn't just mean that you have too much time on your hands. It means that you're struggling with mental health issues that you need to address. We're just being so honest and real about that. Let's continue on, and let's continue on looking at this list. I will not eat until work has been done. Absolutely. He's absolutely right about this. I say again, it goes right back to what I said. You get your work done. You get your workout done. You get through your day. A lot of people prefer to eat at night, like to eat in the evening or eat late at night, because that's, right before they go to sleep, because your body starts to burn through that. and then you wake up in the morning and you have the entire day for yourself. It's so much better. You said, instead I start my day with hunger and memories. Well, yeah, because you have more mental clarity. And the thing is that it's not so much that you're hungry, because if you're doing the carnivore diet right, or correction, the caveman diet, if you're doing the caveman diet correctly, which is where you basically eat only meat and you only eat one time a day, because that's how our ancestors live. They ate, that's how our caveman ancestors live. They weren't going around foraging for plants all the time. They were eating specifically meat. They would go out, they would find animals, they would catch them, process them, and then turn that into meat and eat them. And I mean, if you think about it, you start the day off with an empty belly, but your body is still burning the food that you consumed previously. And then it's not just burning the food, it's also burning the fat that you have on your body. Our bodies have a lot of fat on them. Our bodies have more fat on them than we absolutely need. So many of us can go without eating for quite some time. It's just that we have an addiction to food in Western society. A lot of it has to go with the things that go into our food, but we have an absolute addiction to food in Western society. My path to the top wasn't a straight line. Yeah, life goes in zigzags. Guys, the thing that women don't comprehend is that men live very hard lives. Our lives are hard. Women live lives on easy mode. They get their value when they are born. Men have to create their own value. And it's as a result of that, women can't comprehend these things. The same woman making this video has like 1,000 guys in her DMs telling her how beautiful she is and how much they would love to have a relationship with her. Please, could they take her on a date? All of these things. Oh, you're so wonderful. You've changed my life. Blah, blah, blah. All these different things, and she's being handed these things. So she thinks that this is how the world works for men as well, or she just doesn't really care. When in reality, men have to earn their value every day. A man has to fight for his own survival. It's like men are always at war trying to survive. Women, on the other hand, they're bailed out of every bad decision that they make. And then she can turn around and make this type of video to try to make it sound like, Andrew is not telling men anything that, is telling them something that's not true. When in reality, men have to be disciplined. When you lack discipline, that's a hard life to live. A life where you lack discipline is a life where you're going to have a lot of struggles. In life, the hard way is the easy way, and the easy way is the hardest way. It's the honest to goodness. There's been bumps in the road. Absolutely correct. Tears. For women don't see them, but men shed lots. It's lots of blood, lots of red liquid fluid. I won't say the word. Lots of sweat to get where they are. But women don't see that. They just see the finished product, and then they want it, and they want it to stamp their brand on it. I sit and I remember the worst times of my life. Guys, this is how men become. This is how men become the way that they are. They become hard. It's not that men choose to be this way. It's the fact that men end up having to become this way. It's the only way that they can survive. When you've got these guys like Destiny out here trying to tell men they need to learn how to cry, and his wife who says that if you don't want to be with a woman who has a high body count, you're insecure over your manhood. I mean, guys, this is a terrible thing for a young boy. This is a terrible message to tell so many young boys. There are all these videos going around on YouTube right now where women are revealing how they caught the dragon. If you know what I mean by the dragon, it's the one that starts with an H and ends with a V, right? And it's like, how I caught this, and it's like, what? And there's all these women putting up these videos now talking about it, and they're Western women in Western society from especially America, and everyone thinks this is a game. It just illustrates, how promiscuity works. And they're like, I didn't care about myself, and that's why I was with him. Yeah, you were with him, and a bunch of other bunch of other women were with him, and it's like you were out in the streets, and this is how it happened, because the streets don't lead anywhere good. That's look at Magic Johnson. Look at Magic Johnson. How did Magic Johnson allegedly get it? He was out in the streets. All right, let's keep going. Some mornings, if I really try, I can almost cry. Men are, if I really try, yeah, because men end up becoming unemotional. Men end up becoming like this because we realize that crying doesn't do anything for us. Our lives are so hard that we become conditioned for survival. He says, I take all that anguish and pain, then add a little nicotine and caffeine to set my blood on fire, and I enter the world ready to win life or expire while I'm trying. And that's how men have always been, strong men. And she's there trying to criticize this guy for what he said, but he's absolutely right. Because life is hard, man. Life is really, really hard.
Icing on the cake. Listen, there is no shortage of people out there that want to sell you on their particular brand of self-loathing, just for their own validation. We all want to be happy, right? Maybe they think that your views, your adoration, your respect, your follows, your subs will give them that fulfillment. Maybe an important person in their life did not give them the love that they deserved. Maybe they grew up believing they don't deserve love at all, but the red flags are always the same, so recognize them. Punishing yourself will not make you tougher or stronger or more prepared for the world. It'll just damage you more. In fact, you can't grow or be happy until you understand that you deserve love. And that has to start with loving yourself. And I know that is the hardest part. As humans, we tend to focus on our flaws, our mistakes, our failures. It is a million times easier to believe an insult than it is to believe a compliment. These negative thoughts settle into the fabric of who we are and become who we are. But just like you're able to grasp on to the negative thoughts and feelings, you are also able to recognize them as unhealthy and reject them. And once you get in the habit of doing that,
guys, this whole self-love thing is absolute nonsense, and it's something that men have to stay away from. Women have time for the self-love feng shui stuff, but men live hard lives and have always have to be prepared for the hardships that we're going to face. It's because women, always have someone to bail them out, or there's always a plan B, why they can think this and why they can act like this. This is just a version. The reason why she went after Andrew is because women are begging men to come back as men become password bros and leave, but it's not going to happen. This is the ultimate reality that women have created for themselves. All right, and they're going to have to live with it. I want to know if you guys agree with what I just said there. If you agree that this is just nothing more than women basically saying, yeah, we messed up, don't leave us. I want to hear your thoughts on this, so let's talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.